Hey guys, so I'm gonna start the stream off with the little show and tell here of what we did today. Again, we're on day 12 of lockdown and there's not much going on. Um, it was really, really hot, 90, 91 degrees, I think, when we were driving around in the car. So we decided to go and get some lunch up at the North Shore. It's Labor Day, so we were kind of curious to see what the traffic was going to be like and how crowded it was going to be at the beach. And so you can see us driving through Haleiwa town, heading our way, making our way down to the beach park down there. And yeah, there was a lot of traffic down there, but it wasn't as crowded as I thought it was, as I thought it was going to be. So there you can see right here, 91 degrees outside. Um, I thought it was going to be a lot hotter. I mean, a lot more crowded out there. But everybody seems to be following the rules. So we got our lunch down here at the number 7 Japanese food truck in Haleiwa. They had the tables kind of blocked off there, you can see, but they were open, full menu and everything. I think they do takeout too, so you can call in your orders. Bunch of chickens there, so watch out when you're crossing the road. They've dug some holes up, so uh, but that's the takoyaki. That was very tasty with the sauce. Um, and then this is what I had, the super chirashi. And actually, that's a lot of food. This was a lot of. I haven't even finished it all. I ate like about half of it. And then after that, we went to Black Sheep Creamery to get some ice cream. It's a popular spot in Waipio. And this is so overlooking Coal Ridge. Yeah. So that's what we did today. Uh, you know, lockdown. What can you do? Go out for a drive on a hot day. I don't have air conditioning in my house, so uh, going out, driving around in the car, at least I get air conditioning. Yeah, as you could see from the dashboard, it was 74 degrees inside my, where is it? Uh, can't seem to find it. There it is. 74 degrees in my car and 91 degrees outside. So it's a good way to stay cool is to go out for a drive. But you're supposed to only drive to and from um, essential activities, right? So we're getting food. Um, so I think that's that's fine. Anyway, quick update here on the coronavirus thing. Numbers did go down, but then again, it's Labor Day, right? So we don't know how many tests. Actually, let's can we find out? Do they have the number of tests? Testing. 2,800. Past 24 hours, 2,100 tests, 4.9%. I don't know, does that sound right to you? Anyway, we had 105 new cases, so that's down. At least we're not near the 300 number, right? One additional fatality, so we're still losing lives. Um, let's see, 11 on the Big Island, 4 in Maui. So I think the lockdown seems to be working, right? It's not sustainable, but for the economy, but it's working to keep the number down. Let's take a look at the hospital beds. So we're kind of still. So they haven't updated the hospital beds. So I don't know what's going on there. Um, it's probably still the same, I would think, right? 60%. So the case numbers going down. I think we're safe on ICU beds, right? Um, I don't know. It's looking good though. Uh, there's supposed to be a announcement tomorrow by the mayor, and I'm not sure if he's going to make an announcement that extends the the lockdown. Right? We're on, what are we, day 12? So it's supposed to end on like Wednesday or Thursday, right? Um, I don't know. I don't know. Again, like making any kind of announcement or determination after a 3-day weekend is is not a good time to do it. Like we don't, these are like special circumstances, and I don't know if people went out to go get tested or whatever. And again, it's like people been out of work or staying at home um, for a 3-day weekend. So once people start going back to work, I don't know if the numbers are going to go up. Usually on the weekends, the positive cases go down a little bit. Um, it went down drastically. So I don't know. I mean, I would want to wait until um, tomorrow or maybe Wednesday to make a determination or to see what happens. But according to Josh Green, he was saying that he'd like to see it in the like mid to low double digit numbers, which we're still far away from, um, to be safe. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see what the announcement is tomorrow. So if you guys watch the news or whatever, or I don't know if they carry it on the TV because they have to break into regular programming for the announcements. But I would stick to like maybe social media or Facebook or something. And usually when the news covers the press conferences, they'll post like a live video on Facebook. So that's a good way to catch the announcement. So yeah. So this is where I went to get lunch today. The number 7 Japanese food truck. It's in Haleiwa. I think the Instagram tag is Haleiwa underscore NO7. Um, you can call them. It's really good. Really, I thought the food was really good. The presentation was really nice. The box that it was in was nice. It was cardboard that was kind of lined so it didn't get soggy. Yeah, nice. We have an we have a car alarm going on outside right now. um, well, while we're listening to the car alarm go off, we can take a look at the menu. Well, I don't want to start another order anyway. I thought there was going to be pictures here. Anyway, here's a Black Sheep Creamery where we got ice cream. It's kind of it's a little hidden. Um, if you go to Waipio and turn where the Starbucks is in Waipio, um, it's nice. It just, I don't know. Hopefully nobody's breaking into cars in Mililani. Or it could be the cats. There's a couple of cats that wander around out here. Maybe they're. I don't think a cat can move a car or shake a car to have the alarm go off. I don't know. But anyway, this is Black Sheep Creamery. They make their own ice cream. It's super good. It was actually quite busy when we went there. Um, it's takeout, so the ice cream starts to melt as soon as you step outside. But yeah, it's kind of a little hidden gem if you like ice cream. I think for the 2 scoop it was like $6, $7, between $6 and $7. So it's pretty good. It's gourmet ice cream. You can get it in a cone or in a bowl. They also make awesome shakes too with the ice cream. It's like full on. They just whip up the ice cream, so it's super thick. In my case, they give you a kind of the straw is a little too thin, uh, so it was pretty much useless, the straw. So I had to use a spoon to eat the shake. But yeah, if you guys ever in the Waipio area, check out Black Sheep Creamery for ice cream. I mean, look at that, 851 reviews on Yelp, and it's got almost 5 stars. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Let's take a look at the number 7 Japanese food truck. Kind of curious to see. I didn't. Oh, okay. So they got good reviews too. Look at that. 149 reviews, and they're almost 5 star. So that's pretty good. Yeah. So I would highly recommend both of these places. So anyway, Raised by Wolves, um, episode 2. So if you guys haven't checked out Raised by Wolves, it's on HBO Max, not Hobo Max, HBO Max. I ended up signing up for it. How do I get out of here? How do I just uh oop, here we go. So here's Raised by Wolves. They have 3 episodes right now, and it's supposed to come out every Thursday. So in the first episode, we really were just introduced to the main characters, and we don't really know exactly what's going on. We have a hint that there was a war, and there's very few humans left. So the androids, which is mother and father, which is pictured here. So the female is mother, the male is father, and they smuggled some embryos along with them, and they landed on this planet called Kepler 22b. So it's a deserted planet, and they landed there, and she gave birth synthetically to these children. Well, all the children died except for one, Campion. His name is Campion. So he's a little kid. He's the only survivor. And at the end of episode 1, it's a very climactic ending, which is pretty cool. That reveals Mother is a very special kind of android. So she's very powerful. She turns into what we learn to be is a necromancer model, and she can fly. She turns kind of like this bronze color, and she can explode people with the sound of her voice. And she's bulletproof too. So she's very, very powerful, and uh, they're part of the atheist group. So they don't believe in religion; they just believe in science. That was the one faction that sent them on this mission to preserve the or to raise these children. The other faction, which I think that was the two warring faction, was the atheist versus the religious group. And the religious group created an ark, and they loaded up all their people, um, and they were making this journey. And eventually, they found their way to Kepler 22b. So at the end of episode one, um, Mother ends up destroying the ship, uh, and so there's very, very, very few survivors now, like a handful of adults. And I think, and the children who are in the ship, um, you know, gets abducted by Mother, and she brings them back into the town or into their little camp to raise. So that's episode one. Episode two kind of gives you a little bit more background on some of the characters. So one of the religious factions people, one of the soldiers, his name is Marcus. Um, so the religion is the Mithraic. That's the religion that the people believe in. They're kind of dressed like crusaders. Um, so we get his background story in episode two. And it turns out that he was a soldier actually on the atheist side. So he's actually an atheist. And he doesn't look like the way he looks like in episode two. Um, he and his partner, Sue, um, they know that they've lost the war already. So they're trying to get onto the ark. So the atheists didn't choose to save any of their people. They just saved the two androids, and they smuggled these embryos, and that was it. Um, so what Marcus and Sue do is they stumble across uh, these identities, right, in the computers, and they decide that they're going to assume these identities of these people. And so they find them, they hunt them down, they shoot them, they kill them, and then they have a medical robot change their face. So now they're wearing the faces of these dead people. And then they sneak aboard the ark and assume the identities of these people. So again, they're atheists, but now they're assuming the identities of the Mithraic soldiers. The twist is that they find out that they actually have a son, or the real Mithraic soldiers that they ended up killing. They actually have a son, and he's on board the ark as well. So it's a 13-year journey, and well, we don't find that out until later. So that's kind of the backstory, how Marcus ends up on the ark and on Kepler 2. Um, we also learn that there's some kind of a conflict between mother and father. So father is it's kind of interesting because, and I don't know if this is stereotyping, but father is um, more of a friend. He's more of a friendly robot. He likes to tell jokes. He seems to be intellectually uh, more advanced. And mother is just purely like lacking of humor, and she's more focused on her goal in protecting and raising the children at all costs. So um, so father in the first episode, uh, Campion was the only surviving child, and the whole point of their mission was on Kepler 22 was to raise this group of children and have them reproduce and rebuild the human race. Uh, but because all of the other children died, there was only Campion, right? He's the only human out of the three of them. So father wanted to turn Campion over to the Mithraic people and just have them live amongst humans. That wasn't acceptable to mother, and so that's why she flipped out and she killed everybody. Uh, but then she was able to uh, retrieve the other children from the ship. So so we don't know where that's going to lead. Um, they do go into some of these children. So I think the new group of children, they're going to have a bigger role because the first group of children, like all of them, they just killed off all of them. Uh, the second group of children, I think, are going to last a little bit longer. Hopefully, they don't get killed off. Um, and one of them is Hunter. He's kind of the oldest child. He's also, made known to be the smartest of them. So he assumes like the leadership role. One of the survivors is also Paul, who is Marcus and Sue's son. So so they get separated. He gets separated from his parents, and he gets um, abducted by mother. So he's living with the group of kids now. Um, and then there's a couple other. I think what was Tempest. Tempest is a girl who reveals that she was I think she was raped while she was in stasis. So so during the trip, they're not awake. They're just put into like this virtual world. So they live out their life virtually, but their body is sleeping, right? So their body is in suspended animation. So it was a long trip to get from the home world to Kepler 22. Uh, the people on the Mithraic Ark, they lived in kind of a virtual world. Um, so she reveals to Mother, like, um, like what happened. And so Mother kind of like says that she'll protect her as long as she's with Mother. Mother will protect her. And so there's nothing to worry about. Uh, they want to have the child. So again, that kind of falls within Mother's mission, right, to reproduce the human race. So she wants to have this child, you know, to to have the child and raise it and continue to rebuild the human race. Um, but no religion. When you're with mother and father, just no religion. So that's kind of interesting. It's kind of an interesting premise. These kids have been raised with their religious beliefs, and now they're having to put it aside and listen to the stories. And she tells them the story of the three little pigs, which is kind of, I guess, kind of related to the whole Raised by Wolves title. We just don't know exactly like who the wolves are. Are the wolves the androids? Oh, are the wolves the the Mithraic religious group? We don't really know yet. What we do know though is that the planet is not uninhabited. There's creatures um, roaming around, and at the end of the episode 2, they attack the village or the little camp, and Mother has to protect everybody and go into her necromancer mode. Um, Another kind of interesting thing about it too is so her necromancer mode is controlled by her eyes. So they have this kind of plug and play kind of architecture. Theory. She's able to like pluck her eye out and like put another eyeball in there, and it just like connects. I don't know how that works. Uh, so anyway, she kills one of the Mithraic androids and plops his eyeballs in her head, which to me doesn't make any sense. Why doesn't she just keep her eyes? Then she can change into her necromancer mode at any time. Um, but she plops the dead android's eyes into her head, and I guess that's like a safety mode, which I don't understand why you would need a safety mode. Um, and then she hides away her original eyes. Um, so when the village gets attacked by these little creatures, um, they have to scramble around looking for her eyes, and it turns out that Campion had actually had stolen them, taken them. So father convinces him to give back the eyes so that mother can defend the camp. So uh, at the end of episode two, at the end of episode two, Marcus, who we thought was dead because mother had injured him, um, and he was sleeping next to this hole in the ground, this giant hole, which there are a bunch of around the camp. Apparently, that's a source of heat. I don't know if that hole goes all the way to the core of the planet, and so there's like a geothermal vent. Um, but he's sleeping there to stay warm, so he ties himself to a rock, and then the little creatures find him, and they just push him off, and he kind of like is dangling inside of the hole. So at that point, we thought he's dead, um, but it turns out like he's not dead, and um, the surviving Mithraic people end up finding him. So that's episode two. I'm gonna be watching episode three tonight. I'll have a review of episode three tomorrow, and then I think I have to wait until Thursday for episode four to come out. So it's kind of interesting to see where this is going. I was very sad in episode one when I thought Father got killed because he's very likable. So he's back, and I think he should be there to stay. There's a nice dynamic between him and Mother as far as how they approach problems and how he interacts with the children. He's definitely firm, but he is, um, I think, more human out of the two. Mother is very robotic, kind of creepy, um, but I think she's just trying to fulfill her mission, right, which is to protect everybody, and she's just doing what she can. I'd like to get more information about her necromancer mode and why she keeps that concealed. Like, why isn't she always in necromancer mode? That doesn't make a lot of sense. Why she changes between the regular android and necromancer mode. So I kind of like to find out more about that. I like to find out more about the Mithraic belief system and how they plan to restart the human race. Um, and of course, the big question is what really happened? Like, why did the war even begin? And what started it? Um, why couldn't these two factions coexist on their planet? Why did they have to leave their planet? Like, did the planet get destroyed? We don't know. Um, so, or why couldn't one leave, right? One group leave and the other one stay, and then they could just, live happily with their own belief system. So, it'd be very interesting to see what happens. It's really well done. The characters are really good. The kids haven't gotten uh, to be too irritating. Campion is really good. Paul is played really well. Um, the writing seems to be spot on. It seems to be really good. The dialogue is good. Um, the acting is good. Again, the production, the special effects is movie quality, feature film quality. So yeah, I'm waiting to see what happens next. So anyway, that's my review of episode two of Raised by Wolves. I like to, if you guys are watching it, feel free to chime in and let me know what you think. Um, I don't know if you guys are waiting. Like I wish that I could just binge watch it, but HBO kind of does the whole Game of Thrones things. Game of Thrones and Westworld was the same way. You just had to watch it every week. So I don't know how many episodes in total they're making for this first season, but uh, I hope it ends well. Uh, I hope the series continues on. It's looking really good so far. There's a lot of questions. Like the worst thing about these kinds of sci-fi films is when the series ends like prematurely and you don't get the answers, right? Because they're building this kind of elaborate world, and you have all these questions. You want to understand the world, and then the season ends because of financial problems or production problems or whatever. So hopefully this series continues on, and it tells a complete story. Um, so I think that's about it. Um, I don't know what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. I don't really have any plans. I think I do need to do some work and probably watch episode 3. Um, I'm going to explore and see what else is of interest on HBO Max. I think they do have a couple more original series. Like, I don't know what this Lovecraft is about, Lovecraft County. Um, there's some other stuff on here. Most of it is like you can find on Netflix and stuff. Um, so I don't know if that's of interest to you. If you do have HBO already with your cable subscription, um, I would definitely download the app and check it out. If you don't, if you're a cord cutter, I don't know if it's worth it to subscribe just for one series. You know, um, I guess you could wait until the whole series comes out and maybe another streaming service picks it up. But you'll have to wait until everything's done. Um, yeah. But anyway, I'm enjoying it. I'm hoping I'm still waiting for Westworld. Westworld is supposed to have a new season. So, if you like Westworld, that'll be 2, right? Raised by Wolves and Westworld. Um, I kind of want to watch this Class Action Park. I did see some YouTube videos about it. It was like the world's most dangerous park. It's kind of a sad but uh, interesting story. Um, so I'll probably end up watching that too. It's just a matter of finding the time. Uh, yeah, so that's about it. And that'll be it for tonight's stream. Um, yeah, hope everybody had a good night. Hope everybody had a great uh, Labor Day weekend, even though we were severely restricted on what we could do. Um, Hopefully things gets better, and we can uh, try to establish some sort of lifestyle instead of just staying home. So, yeah, have a good night.